Hi guys, hello, it's Dom from the Give Me a Whole Year Wrestling Podcast. We are going to do a quick video today in the wake of Payback and John Cena's hosting abilities and the wake of SmackDown, where he talked about having a last ever match in WWE. So we're going to debate, guys, who that could be. Who could John Cena's, the greatest of all time, arguably, who could his last WWE match be? Who do you think it is? I've got three core picks as to who I think it will be, and I will get to those right after this.
This is the hardcore legend, Mick Foley. Well, hello and welcome to Give Me a Whole Yeah. I hope everyone there, right there in Yorkshire, is having a nice day. Bang, bang. Have a nice day. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Mick. So yes, John Cena, in the wake of the acting strike in Hollywood, has now got some time free. He is coming back to WWE. He's got a packed schedule. He's going to be doing house shows, probably. He's going to be booked for the next few SmackDowns at least. We obviously saw him host Payback, do some very entertaining commentary stints or interview stints backstage with the Judgment Day and things of that nature. So John Cena is back for the foreseeable future as a result of those acting strikes. So who could be John Cena's opponent? His last opponent. Obviously, he could have a few more matches. We understand that. But we're here to talk about his last ever opponent. John Cena is finally going to be done with WWE at some point. One of the greatest of all time, whether you like him or not, whether you're a fan of John Cena or not, one of the greatest entertainers, actually, in Hollywood across the board. He had a great stint as a mermaid in Barbie. Or a merman, he's done some really good comedy work. He's done some really good action work. John Cena is, by all accounts, a wonderful human being. Of course, his lovely work as part of the Make-A-Wish Foundation just makes this dude an all-round great human being. But we are here to talk not only about that, but also about who could his last match be. So I've lined up three opponents. There could be more. Put your picks in the comments. Who do you think John Cena's last opponent will be in WWE? I'm not saying he's off to AEW after that. I'm talking about his last opponent in WWE, last opponent in wrestling, period. Now, my first pick is the guy hoisted up on John's shoulders after SmackDown this past week. It is Jimmy Uso. Jey Uso, of course, debuting or will be debuting on Monday Night Raw soon. He returned last night at Payback. But Jimmy Uso. Now, Jey seems to be the favorite son, the favorite of the favorite of WWE. I think main event Jey Uso. I mean, it's in the name, of course. I think that Jey is the favorite one, the Shawn Michaels to the Marty Jannetty of Jimmy. But that's what I think now. Of course, that could change, and the thing to change that, the thing to give Jimmy the rub, so to speak, to give him that kind of main event push that Jey seemingly is already having, would be to a win or at least a match against John Cena. I think Jimmy is is a great talent and shouldn't be overshadowed by Jey. And that is what I think is happening and what I think will continue to happen if they don't give Jimmy a solid feud and maybe a win against John Cena in his last match, or even just a last match for John Cena and the kind of the overall gravitas that would give to Jimmy Uso. To face John Cena in that context. And obviously Jimmy has, the bloodline stuff is confusing or has been confusing. It was obviously one of the greatest storylines in WWE history, over the past few years, really. But the latest turn where Jimmy may or may not be rejoining the bloodline is an odd one. And I think Jimmy needs to stand up on his own, like it seems that Jey is going to do. And what better way could that happen? What better way could that happen with a win, with a match against John Cena? So yeah, Jimmy Uso is my number 3 pick for this. An absolute solid, pick. It would be, John Cena would give him the rub. Jimmy Uso, it would give him the the gravitas to go forward onto much bigger feuds, potentially a world championship match if Jimmy Uso was to put away John Cena, or at least face him. Obviously, there are other examples of people that have lost to John, in big matches. Of course, big match John. It could be big match Jimmy. Big match Jimmy Uso could be a thing after this. So we will have to see. But I think that would be a solid feud for John Cena if Jimmy Uso was to try and take down one of the greatest of all time. The next one is an odd one probably for you guys, and something you might not want to see. But I'm gonna give you guys it. I'm gonna say it right now. Okay. This is how unprofessional I am, because I've still got Jimmy's name on there, but it's Randy Orton. That's right. Randy Orton is returning, rumored to be returning soon at some point after some physical illness, and obviously he's had a number of operations. Randy Orton and John Cena have faced off a number of times, of course. Randy Orton, one of the greatest of all time. John Cena, arguably greater, but still, they're in that same conversation. Randy Orton in a retirement match against John Cena. Randy Orton probably has a few more years left. John Cena, of course, can go and be a Hollywood superstar anytime he wants. And I'm not saying that Randy Orton's going to be returning in the next few weeks and months, but certainly whenever this last match happens, I would love to see it be Randy Orton, and love to see it be a retirement match, and Randy Orton retiring John Cena after they've had so much history together. Of course, these guys, a lot of people wouldn't want that. A lot of people have seen it before, of course, but there's an argument there that because of their background, because of their history, and because of their their ability to remain at the top of the card, to remain champions for years and years, decades and decades now, as these guys have done, that Randy Orton could be that, and Randy Orton could put John Cena out to pasture, so to speak, send him back to Hollywood, and Randy Orton would then maybe line himself up for that world record championship run, the last run maybe, which I think would have him beat or at least equal Ric Flair's record. So yeah, I think there's something really exciting about the potential here of Randy Orton beating John Cena in a retirement match of some sort. They could both reference, their history. Of course, they both had history with the late great Bray Wyatt. They could tie that into it. They could tie, obviously, their long history as singles champions. Could all come into this storyline. They could go deep with it. It could and they could have little run-ins with other people along the way. Seth Rollins, Shinsuke, etc. They could do that. They could have matches with those guys along the way to this, but I think a wonderful last match for John Cena would be against Randy Orton in a retirement match. So if John won, Randy would retire, but of course, Randy's got a few more years left in him, I think, a couple more at least, and John, of course, can go to Hollywood. So I think Randy Orton is actually a credible second pick for me on this one. Obviously I might get some haters for that, but I think Randy Orton is a solid idea for the second one. Okay, the main event, my last pick for this one, and this one's the most obvious one. They have had run-ins in recent times, is Grayson Waller. What a wonderful sort of salute from John this would be for Grayson Waller to have that last match. And I think more than the other two here, Grayson actually has a better shot of winning as well. I think Grayson could actually beat John, and it wouldn't be a big surprise. Randy Orton beating John again for the retirement thing would be cool. Jimmy, as much as I want him to be just as over as his brother Jay, I'm not sure he would be there to beat John, even though it would elevate him to the status he would need to be. But I think Grayson has the best chance of beating John Cena in this, and I would love to see it too. And I think, Grayson is probably well on his way to becoming, the top heel in WWE for maybe, the next 5-10 years. And I think a win versus John Cena could certainly do that. And again, the least surprising, I think, of these three is Grayson Waller beating John in that retirement match, or putting John out in his last match. John Cena putting over Grayson Waller. And even even in defeat, as we've seen time and time again with Grayson, and again, I would argue that Grayson, could handle the loss better as well. Jimmy being beaten by John, might lead to, Jimmy going into other things, but I think Grayson would look strong, like really strong, even in defeat. Arguably more so than Randall Keith Orton as well. Grayson would look strong either way. Of course, with the win, it would catapult his career to catastrophic heights. Catastrophic heights. That doesn't make sense. Catapult his career to megalithic heights by a win against John Cena. But even in a loss, Grayson Waller would appear strong, would appear powerful, and it would solidify him as a top heel for the next 10 years, I would argue. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think about that. Grayson Waller is my number one pick, followed by Randy Orton, followed by Jimmy Uso. What do you think? Is John Cena going to have his last match against one of these three people? Do you have an alternative viewpoint? Do you think it'll be somebody else? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think. Just wanted to pull this quick video together since everyone's talking about John Cena, since John Cena clearly has some time with the acting strike in place, and obviously he's back for the next few months and weeks. And I'm not saying this final match is going to come on this, in these few next weeks and months when the acting strike is on, but maybe in the next few years. I truly believe it could be one of these three. Could be Jimmy Uso, could be Randy Orton, or it could be Grayson Waller, for the reasons I have listed over the last few minutes. So let me know what you guys think in the comments, guys. Let me know what you guys want to see from John Cena. Big match John in his last match. And yeah, who do you think it'll be against? Guys, we will see you soon. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. And I think we've got an action-packed weekend for you, the rest of the weekend for you anyway. So yeah, we'll see you soon. Take it easy, guys. I've been Dom for the Give Me a Whole Yeah Wrestling podcast. And it has been a pleasure to be back on the channel with you guys as well. I always enjoy being here. And yeah, love you guys. See you soon. Okay, take it easy. Whole yeah.
From the new day, give me that whole yeah. Give it to me. I need it.